Hello, my name is Aayushi Pandya and I'm currently doing B.Tech at Marwadi University in Information and Communication Technology branch. I'm currently in semester 2 and the project on the subject is Object-Oriented Programming and it is guided by Professor Kumar Anand Singh. The title of my project is Master-Slave JK Flip-Flop using Java. What is Master-Slave JK Flip-Flop? To overcome the race around condition in JK flip-flop, master-slave flip-flop was invented. In this combinational circuit, two JK flip-flops are sequenced such that the output of the first one is taken as an input of second one. So here is our diagram of the flip-flop. Now here you can see one JK flip-flop act as a master portion, whereas the other part act as a slave portion. So the input goes from J and K and the clock with the which is inverted at a second input, and the output is Q and Q bar from the intermediate state M1 and M2 as inputs. Here we can see clock is inverted, so one portion is positive triggered and the next portion is negative triggered. So we have used NOT gate here, which will invert our clock. Okay, now let us go to the code. So here is my code which I have prepared in IntelliJ software. First of all, there are certain files that have been imported over here, which I'll talk when it will come. So my first class, that's master slave JK flip-flop class, extends JFrame class and implements action listener. It extends JFrame because we are forming frames over here, which I'll show you when I run the code, and implements action listener, which means that this interface takes the input from the button and acts accordingly. Now we are using two buttons in this class, one main JFrame inside which everything will be covered and one JLabel. So first of all we are calling its constructor. It has the same name as the class. Now we will initiate or instantiate the things over here, like frame 1 is instantiated with the title Welcome to Aayushi's project. Then two buttons are there named enter and exit. Then we are setting the bounds of the button like size and position. XY is the position and width and height are the sizes. And the color of the buttons. As we can see here, it shows colorful itself. So here we are setting the colors by RGB, means the proportion of red, green and blue color over here. Now I'm taking image icon menu, also new image icon, and then I'm putting the file name of the image which I want to import in this frame. So L is instantiated, then we are inserting it as a label itself and we are setting its size. Now B1 and B2, as we have implemented that action listener interface, so we are using it over here. B1.add action listener this, so it will initiate itself. Now we are adding these things to our frame because how it will come to know that what things it has to include. So we will put f1.add and whatever component we want to add, we'll put it into the bracket. And then we will set the size of this frame. We will set it visible true because we want to visualize the frame. And set default close operation is used here to close the frame once we exit. Here I am also using f1.getContentPen.set background because I also want to set the background to the frame. So this is its command. Now to run the code we need public static void main, and I am initiating the frame. Now as we have taken the interface, so we will tell it that public void action performed in method implementing will use if e.getSource equals to B1, which means that if B1 button is pressed, then new frame will open, that's frames. We are calling it object small f. But if button B2 is pressed, then the frame 1 will disappear. So let me show you this thing first. So when we'll run the code, so you can see this is our first frame as we have set. This is whole our image, and this is button 1, button 2. If you press the button 2, this frame will shut down. And using enter, I'll show you the entire project at last. So this way this works. Now as it go to the frames, we'll also go to frames. This code is also same as the first one, but few things would be changed now. As you can see, this thing has the description of the project. It has also two buttons like the previous one, next and exit. Then we are inserting one image over here using its destination, and we are adding it. We are setting layout as null, and all the operations that were done in the previous one, we are doing it here. The color is changed to orange. There it was blue. Now I'm running this frame. When I run the code, this frame will open. Now inside again this implementation method, if we press button V1, that's next, it goes to frame 1, and if we press V2, then this frame disposes. So again I'll show you how it appears. Running portion I'll show at last. So this is how the image is. Here its description, its label is given, two buttons. If I exit it, I will go up. Now frames 1. As you can see, I'll call it from the SRC. Yes, so this is again same. All the things like frame is created, two buttons, setting the background and size, taking the label, and making two buttons, adding it to the frame, setting the frame visible, setting the size, set default close operation, and color is changed to pink now. And the public static void main goes to opens this frame. So now then what happens? If e dot get source double equals to v1, f1 dot transpose, this frame will go and another frame will open. That's frame 3. As you can see it over here. Now we'll go to frame 3. If it goes to frame 3, we should also move to frame 3. So this gives us our actual running, how it works. It is master slave JK flip-flop. There are 3 buttons. One goes for the path of implementation, one goes for the truth table, and the last one goes for the waveform. Here we have next and exit buttons also. We are setting all size of everything. Then we have to set the location accordingly, that no two things overlap each other. Then there will be labels, buttons, different color. Then we'll add all the things. We'll add all the buttons, and then we'll run the frame inside public static void main. Now we'll set the conditions that if button V1 is pressed, we'll go to implementation portion. If button V2 is pressed, we'll go to truth table. If V3 is pressed, we'll go to waveform. If V4 is pressed, then we'll go for next thing, and if V5, then we'll exit the project. Now let me show you the next frames 4. First we'll go through the entire code. Here so many things are there because it's implementation frame. So many labels, text fields, then strings are taken. Then inside the constructor itself we'll call instantiate everything, like whatever name we want to give to the frame, to the buttons, to the labels, we'll give it here itself. We'll add the image and its location and its size. Now then we'll set other size and location also, like all the buttons, text fields, labels, and then we'll add all of them to our frame one by one. If we want to change the colors, we'll change it, and again it's the same operation like set visible, set default close operation, and setting the background of the frame. Inside public static void main, we'll call our main frame, and inside this action performed, again few things are there. First of all, I've used try and catch over here, which catches if there occurs any error and gives us the message. So if e dot get source equals to b1, f1 dot transpose, and new frames open. If it is b2, then it exists, and if it's b3, then the actual task comes that when the user enters input t1 dot get text means to get the if text taken from the user equals to this, just because it is in the form of string, so we'll put dot equals to and 0, and this thing.
Hello,
0
my name
and
is
again
Aayushi
0.
Pandya,
If all three
and I'm
conditions are
currently doing
satisfied,
B.Tech at
then we will
Malari
set the text
University
on the
in
other side
Information
as
and
previous
Communication
state, whatever we want to set
I'm
according
currently
to the
in
working
semester
of
2,
master slave JK flip.
and the project on the subject is
So we'll set certain
object-oriented
conditions like
programming.
this. So
And
let
that
us
is
see the
guided
last
by
one,
Professor Kumar,
that
Anand.
if p1 dot get
The
text
title of
dot
the project
equals to
is Master Slave
insert
JK
double inverted
flip-flop
comma 1, because
using
1 is
Java.
taken as a string over here,
What is
and
Master Slave JK
in
flip-flop?
and
To overcome
p2
trace
dot
around
get text
condition
equals
in
to
JK
1
flip-flop,
and p3
Master
dot
Slave
get text
flip-flop
equals
was
to 1.
invented.
Then
In this
p4 dot set
combinational
text,
circuit,
p5
two
dot
JK
set text, and
flip-flops
p6
are
dot
sequenced
set
such
text.
that the output of the first one
Else, if
is
none of
taken
the
as an input
conditions
of
are
second one.
satisfied according to master slave JK flip flop,
So here
or
is
the
our
user
diagram of
tries
the
to input
flip-flop.
any certain thing which
Now,
is not
here you can see one JK
according to its
flip-flop
input,
act as a master
then it
portion,
will open
whereas the
one
other
message
part
in valid
act as a
input.
slave
So
portion.
here I have used
So
for
the
that
input
command
goes from
j
J
option pane
and
dot
K
show
and the
message
flip,
dialog. New
with
frame
which
will
is
open
inverted
and the
at
message would
second
be
input, and the
displayed.
output is Q and
And
U
inside the catch,
from the intermediate state
if
M1 and M2
user
as input.
does not enter any data
Here we
and
can see clock
press
is
the start button,
inverted.
then we'll
So
ask him to enter the data
portion
first.
is
So
positive
this was
triggered
our
and the next portion
implementation
is
frame.
negative triggered. So
I'll
we
show
have
you the
used
view working.
not
I'll
J
show at
here,
last.
which will invert our clock. Okay, now let us go to the code.
So this is our frame. Here we will input the data in J, clock in K, and it will give us the output Q,
First of
Q
all,
bar,
there are
and
certain
interference.
files that
Means
have
what
been
is the
imported over here, which I'll talk
outcome.
when it will come.
Now
So
for
my first
frame
class,
5.
that's master slave JK flip-flop class, extends JFrame
Again the
class
same frame,
and implements action list.
same code.
It
If table
extends
image has
JFrame because
been
we are calling
extracted
frames over
from
here, which I'll show you
location,
when I run the
and
code,
we'll edit to
and
the frame,
implements
we'll set
action list,
all the sizes,
which
colors,
means that
and we'll
this
display
interface
it.
takes the
And
input
similar
from the
for 6,
button and
that's
acts
waveform.
accordingly.
Also
Now
we
we
can
are
create
using
the
two
waveform if
buttons
we
in this
want.
class. One main JFrame.
So here we are
Inside the
taking
JFrame
buttons,
will be covered, and
giving
one
it the
JFrame.
title waveform, setting the
So first
color,
of all, we are
setting the background,
calling its
that's
constructor.
v1 dot set
It has
background,
the
v1
same
dot
name
set
as the
bound,
class.
v1 dot add
Now
listener
we'll
action.
initiate or instance
Then we are adding it all to the
frame 1 is
frame.
instantiated with the
Okay,
title
and now
welcome to
public
Aayushi
static void
Pandya.
main strings
Then two
and new
buttons are there
frames.
named enter
If we're
and
pressing the
exit.
button, this,
Then
and
we are
if we
setting
are
the
not
bounds
pressing the
of the
button,
button like
nothing.
size and
So if we're
position,
pressing the
XY is
button
the
back,
position, and
we'll
width
go to
and
the
height as
frames 3
the
again
length.
to the menu
And the
portion.
color of the button.
And if
As
we're
we can
pressing
see
exit,
here,
we'll
it shows
exit the
colorful
project.
itself.
The
So
last
here
frame
we are setting
is
the color by
of the
RGB,
conclusion,
the portion of red,
and
green,
here
and
you
blue
can
color
see
over here. Now
this
I'm
is
taking
how we
image
have done
argument.
same way as
So
we've
it's
done
a new image
previous
item,
slides.
and then I'm
Quotes.
putting the
We'll
file
enter it to
name
the
of
frame
the image,
and
which
then
I want
public
to
static
import
void
in this
main
frame.
new last
So
frame.
L is
And if button
instantiated
B2 is
here,
pressed, we'll exit
inserting
the
it into the
project.
label itself.
Now
And
let
we are
me
setting
show you
both
the
sizes.
working of whole project.
Now P1 and B2,
We'll go
as
to
we
the
have
main frame
implemented
itself
the action listener interface, so we are using it over here.
and we'll run it, and I'll show you how it
P1
works.
dot add action listener this, so it will
So this is
initiate it.
the main page.
Now
Name,
we are adding these things to
semester,
our frame because
subject
how it
name
will
and
come to
code,
know that what
and
things
it's
it
guided
has
by
include. So we will
Kumar
put
sir
F1
and
dot
Parmar.
add and whatever component
Now on
we want
pressing
to
the enter
add,
button,
with the drag.
I'll jump to
And
the
then
next
we will
slide.
set the size of this
Frame.
frame.
First one
We'll
is this
set it
first, and
visible
I'm going to
true
second one.
because we want
So this shows
to
us the picture
visualize
of master slave JK
and
flip
set
flop
default close
and its
operation is used
partition,
here
input,
to
again
close
two
the
buttons,
frame
next and
once we
exit.
exit.
So I'll go
Here
for the
I'm
next
also
one.
using F1 dot get content
Here
frame
comes the
dot set
description of our
background
master
because
slave
I
flip
also
flop.
want to
It
set
is
the
a
background
combination
to
of
the
two flip
frame.
flops.
So this
The
is its
first
stuff.
is designated as master
Now
and the
to
second
run
one
the
as
code
slave.
we need public
Master
static
flip
void
flop
main,
is triggered by the
and I'm
external clock
initiating
pulse,
the frame.
while the slave
Now
is
as we have
activated at its inversion.
taken
The internal structure of master
interface,
slave JK
so
flip
we
flop
will
in
till
terms
it
of many
has
things.
public void action performed
So
in
now
method
we'll move to our
implementing
menu
will
portion.
use.
First we'll
If
go for
E dot get first
implementation
equals to
and
P1,
show you
which means that if P1
first
button
if
is pressed,
user do not
then
enter any
new
data,
frame will open,
and
that's
if he
frames.
goes for this
We
stuff,
are calling
what
its
happens?
object
Let us see.
smaller. But if button B2
Here
is
comes
pressed,
the new
then
frame, invalid
the
input,
frame
try
1 will
again. So we'll do OK.
So let me show
Now
you
if we
display
enter
first.
some wrong data, like
So when we run
76,
the code,
98, 982 or any random number, and if we press start,
You can see
Again the
this is our
same thing
first frame as
appears.
we
So
have
he
set.
has to input
This is whole
right
our
date.
image.
Now if I'll
And
input
this is button 1, button
1,
2. If we press the button 2, this frame will shut down.
0,
And using enter, I'll show you the
and say
entire
1.
project at last.
So
this
we will
way
get,
this
when we
works.
press start
Now,
button, we
as
will
it
get
go
our
to the
answer
frames,
that
we'll also
Q
go
bar
to
will give us the
frames.
inverse of previous state, that's M1.
This
Q
code
bar is
also
again
same as
inverse
the
of
first one,
whatever
but
is
few
there
things would be
M2, and
changed now.
inference means toggle state
As you can
counts.
see, this thing has the
Now we'll
description
go
of the
back
project.
again.
It has also
We'll
two
go for the
buttons
truth
like the
table.
previous one,
So
next
this is
and
our
exit.
truth table when
We are
the clock is
inserting one
high
image
and
over
low
here
and input is
using
0
its
0. And
destination.
clock is again high low and input is
And we
0
are
1
adding
or
it,
1
we are
0 and 1
setting
1. So
layout
I
as
have
null.
given all present state, intermediate
And
state and next
all the
state, all the
operations that were done
outputs.
in the previous
And
one,
what
we
is
are
the
doing it. Here
inference
the color
means
is changed to
conclusion.
orange. There it was
So
still
what happens,
Now
how it
I'm
is
running this
latched or
frame. When
not,
I run the
what
code,
is
this
the
frame will
previous
open.
state, what is the next
Now,
state, what is
inside
intermediate state,
again this
everything is
implementation
given.
method,
Now if
if we
again I
press
press
button
back
B1,
button
that's next.
and
It
go for
goes
the
to frame
waveform,
1. And
here
if
we
we
can
press
see the
B2, then
waveform
this frame
of the
disposes.
clock when it
So
goes
again, I'll
up,
show you
when
how
it
it
comes down.
appears.
So when the clock goes up,
Running
J
portion I'll
is
show you
0,
at
K
last.
is 0,
So this is
M1 is
how
0, but
the
Q
image is.
becomes 1,
Here it's
M2
description,
is 1,
label is
and Q
given,
bar
two
is
buttons.
inverse of Q,
If I
that's
exit
0.
it, I will go up.
Similarly, the whole waveform
Now frames
works.
1. As you can see, I'll call
Again,
it
I'll
frame
press the
start
back
C.
button, and
So this is
this was
again
our
same.
project. Now I'll show
All the
you.
things like frame is
So this is
created,
our
two
last page.
buttons,
Thank you.
setting the
I'm
background
Aayushi
and
Pandya.
size,
This is my email
changing the
ID,
label,
and
and
this was
making
my
two buttons,
project.
adding
Thank
it to the
you.
frame, setting the frame visible, setting the size, set default close operation, and color is changed to pink now. And the public static void main goes to opens this frame. So now then what happens? If E dot get source double equals to B1, F1 dot transpose, this frame will go and another frame will open. That's frame 3. As you can see it over here. Now we'll go to frame 3. If it goes to frame 3, we should also move to frame 3. So this gives us our actual running, how it works. It is master slave JK flip flop. There are 3 buttons. One goes for the path of implementation, one goes for the truth table, and the last one goes for the waveform. Here we have next and exit buttons also. We are setting all size of everything. Then we have to set the location accordingly, that no two things overlap each other. Then there will be labels, buttons, different color. Then we'll add all the things. We'll add all the buttons, and then we'll run the frame inside public static void main. Now we'll set the conditions that if button B1 is pressed, we'll go to implementation portion. If button B2 is pressed, we'll go to truth table. If B3 is pressed, we'll go to waveform. If B4 is pressed, then we'll go for next thing, and if B5, then we'll exit the project. Now let me show you the next frames 4. First we'll go through the entire code. Here so many things are there because it's implementation frame. So many labels, text fields, then strings are taken. Then inside the constructor itself we'll call instantiate everything, like whatever name we want to give to the frame, to the buttons, to the labels, we'll give it here itself. We'll add the image and its location and its size. Now then we'll set other size and location also, like all the buttons, text fields, labels, and then we'll add all of them to our frame one by one. If we want to change the colors, we'll change it, and again the same operation like set visible, set default, close operation, and setting the background of the frame. Inside public static void main, we'll call our main frame, and inside this action performed, again few things are there. First of all, I've used try and catch over here, which catches if there occurs any error and gives us the message. So if e dot get source equals to b1, f1 dot transpose, and new frames open. If it is b2, then it exists, and if it's b3, then
the actual task comes that when the user enters input t1.getText means to get the if text taken from the user equals to this, just because it is in the form of string, so we'll put dot equals to and 0 and this thing 0 and again 0. If all three conditions are satisfied, then we will set the text on the other side as previous state, whatever we want to set according to the working of master slave JK flip-flop. So we'll set certain conditions like this. So let us see the last one, that if t1.getText dot equals to, inside double inverted comma 1, because 1 is taken as a string over here, and in and t2.getText equals to 1 and t3.getText equals to 1, then t4.setText, t5.setText and t6.setText. Else, if none of the conditions are satisfied according to master slave JK flip-flop, or the user tries to input any certain thing which is not according to its input, then it will open one message invalid input. So here I have used for that command j option pane dot show message dialog. New frame will open and the message would be displayed. And inside the catch, if user does not enter any data and press the start button, then we'll ask him to enter the data first. So this was our implementation frame. I'll show you the view working. I'll show at last. So this is our frame. Here we'll input the data in J, clock and K, and it will give us the output Q, Q bar and interference, means what is the outcome. Now for frame 5. Again the same frame, same code. Truth table image has been extracted from location, and we'll edit to the frame. We'll set all the sizes, colors, and we'll display it. And similar for 6, that's waveform. Also we can create the waveform if we want. So here we are taking buttons, giving it the title waveform, setting the color, setting the background, that's v1.set background, v1.set bounds, v1.add listener action. Then we are adding it all to the frame. Okay, and now public static void main strings and new frames. If we're pressing the button, this, and if we are not pressing the button, nothing. So if we're pressing the button back, we'll go to the frames 3 again to the menu portion. And if we're pressing exit, we'll exit the project. The last frame is of the conclusion, and here you can see this is how we have done same way as we've done previous slides. Quotes. We'll add it to the frame and then public static void main new last frame. And if button B2 is pressed, we'll exit the project. Now let me show you the working of whole project. We'll go to the main frame itself and we'll run it, and I'll show you how it works. So this is the main page, name, semester, subject name and code, and it's guided by Kumar sir and Parmar sir. Now I'm pressing the enter button. I'll jump to the next slide. Frame. First one is this first, and I'm going to second one. So this shows us the picture of master slave JK flip-flop and its partition, input, output. Again 2 buttons, next and exit. So I'll go for the next one. Here comes the description of our master slave flip-flop. It is a combination of 2 flip-flops. The first is designated as master and the second one as slave. Master flip-flop is triggered by the external clock pulse, while the slave is activated at its inversion. The internal structure of master slave JK flip-flop in terms of NAND gates. So now we'll move to our menu portion. First we'll go for implementation. I'll show you first if user do not enter any data, and if he goes for the start, what happens? Let us see. Here comes the new frame, invalid input, try again. So we'll do OK. Now if we enter some wrong data, let's select 6, 98, 982 or any random number, and if we press start, again the same thing appears. So he has to input right data. Now if I'll input 1, 0 and say 1. So we will get, when we press start button, we'll get our answer that Q bar will give us the inverse of previous state, that's M1. Q bar is again inverse of whatever is there M2, and inference means toggle state counts. Now we'll go back again, we'll go for the truth table. So this is our truth table when the clock is high and low and input is 0 0, and clock is again high low and input is 0 1 for 1 0 and 1 1. So I have given all present state, intermediate state and next state, all the outputs. And what is the inference means conclusion. So what happens, how it is latched or not, what is the previous state, what is the next state, what is intermediate state, everything is given. Now if again I press back button and go for the waveform, here we can see the waveform of the clock when it goes up, when it comes down. So when the clock goes up, J is 0, K is 0, M1 is 0, but Q becomes 1, M2 is 1, and Q bar is inverse of Q, that's 0. Similarly, the whole waveform works. Again, I'll press the back button, and this was our project. Now I'll show you. So this is our last page. Thank you. I'm Aayushi Pandya. This is my email ID, and this was my project. Thank you.